Siedah, thank you for coming on again, sister. Real quick question. Can you please explain the difference between a will and a trust to people, and how important the trust is to have?
Mm-hmm. So the simple way to think about it is a will is a document that tells people who gets what. A trust is an entity that says what they can do with the what. That makes sense? A will simply says who gets what. When you set a will, it's public knowledge, so anybody can have access to it. It can be contested, so if somebody doesn't like what you put in that will, they can say, you know what? The mind didn't really mean to put that in there. And also, a will doesn't give you any control. So if you leave anybody something, once they receive that asset, they can do whatever it is they want to do with it. Now, a trust, on the other hand, is an actual entity. So it's something that's set up apart from yourself, similar to like an LLC. It's an actual entity. And in that trust, you can say who gets what with your items, but more importantly, you get control. So it's private. It does not have to be public knowledge. Any assets that you place in a trust do not have to go through the probate process, which probate is where your debt collectors get paid first. Okay, if you owe anybody any money, it goes directly to your family. And you have that control where you can set standards. So now you can say Johnny can get the house, but Johnny can't sell the house. Mary can have this lump sum of money, but she has to use that money to go to school or go to college. So a will says who gets what, and a trust says what they can do with the what that you give.
And also, can you explain the difference in price? Because a lot of people fear going to a trust because it costs a couple of dollars, and compared to what a will can cost. And do you think it's good, like those will.coms and those places like that? Do you think it's good that, or sitting down with an actual attorney that do that kind of work?
Yeah, I mean, I think worst case scenario, get something in writing, because what we have to understand is that our right to transfer assets is a law. It's not a natural birth given right. So it's not like you just get to say, I want to give my possessions to someone else. There's a law that this country has that says, you are able to do that. So when you don't have a will in place, you are literally forfeiting your right of saying who's supposed to get all of your stuff. So you don't want to give that right up. So get something, worst case scenario. But in addition to that, you want to get something that's specific to you and your needs based on what you have. Wills are handled at the state level. So that means your state has specific guidelines around how assets can be transferred down. So you want to have it state specific. You want to have it specific to what it is you're trying to accomplish. There's different versions and languages that can go in that, whether you have children, whether you're married. So working with a professional is really going to help you streamline and tailor it to what it is you actually need. Plus, it's not as simple as, like, I know in my family, we used to do this thing, like you just write it down on a piece of paper and put it in the Bible. And that's
that's the everybody family.
But it's a lot more than that. Like, a will is going to compromise your financial power of attorneys, your health power of attorneys, your advanced health directives. It's going to assign guardianship for your children, both financial guardianship, physical and legal guardianship. So there's so much more to it than simply writing down who gets my house or who gets my car. So working with the professional helps you cover all your bases. But in worst case scenario, get something.